Hello all, welcome to the Ginger Geek Show. So, James Bond, there has been 6 actors that has played that said character. And I don't really include David Niven and all that. To me, there's 6 actors and that's been it. But over those years, there has been, of course, actors that have been either considered for the roles and they've tried to audition, or folk that have just they've kind of just declined it basically, and there's a long list of people over the years that has been said auditioned, or they were kind of considered, or they were kind of rumoured and it just never came about. So yes, today I'm talking about a group of quite a good load of actors. I mean, I could, if you want to talk about everyone, that's a lot of folk to kind of talk about. So today I'm just kind of talking about specifically ones that I think is kind of interesting that they were kind of, thought of, and the idea. So yes, let's begin, shall we, on actors considered to play James Bond. So the first one I always think is interesting that comes to my mind is Michael Caine. And the fact that he was considered and close is not really a surprise, to be honest, really. When you see his Harry Palmer roles and all that, it kind of makes a little bit kind of sense, really, to be honest. But that was, unfortunately, the main reason of why he declined on that said role, believing that he didn't want to get typecast with James Bond, and that he was already felt like that role of Harry Palmer was already a typecast for him, and he was obviously wanted to start to get away from said role, so doing another spy character probably wouldn't really help the guy. Another one I always find so interesting is Cary Grant. A part of me would have really loved to see Cary Grant, but the fact that he was 58 of the time of Dr. No was coming meant that said thing was very unlikely. I find Cary Grant so charming and so charismatic. I think he really would have actually, to be honest, would have been pretty damn good in the role. But there was a couple of reasons also. The main reason basically was that he was just not up for simply signing such a deal of doing many movies. Apparently, I remember read with certain things that he only wanted to do the one and that would have been it. But, as a franchise, you want to, keep the money going. So that was obviously, a decline. And obviously the fact that, Cary Grant was really good friends with Cubby. So there was that obviously connection of there as well. But oh god, a part of me just would love to a little bit see what a Cary Grant Bond movie would be like, because I mean, I guess you could just see North by Northwest and you're near enough getting kind of some similar things there, but it would have been interesting to see Cary Grant as Bond. Another one I always find interesting this time, and the reason why I'm just talking about right now, even though he does become Bond, is with Timothy Dalton, because it's crazy how much Cubby really wanted Timothy Dalton to be Bond. There was twice where before it was in '69 to replace Sean Connery, but a couple of reasons, and understandable why, is Dalton felt he was far too young, which is kind of right, and also the fact that he just didn't want to go after Connery, and that's quite understandable as well. Fair play to anyone, and George Lazenby did. So there was that kind of reason. And then there was again where he did try to get him back, Dalton, in the 70s, but simply Dalton didn't like where that franchise was said going. But thankfully they did get him later into the 80s, and it was a shame how it worked out with Dalton. It took so long to finally get him, and only ended with just 2 movies, and he's a great Bond, he really is. I really like Dalton as Bond, and it's a shame how that all worked out for him. There's a couple of them that I find quite interesting actually, that simply there's a list of folk that they personally felt that Bond should be British and it should be played by American, and there's actually quite a couple of that had this perception and had this view. Folk like Burt Reynolds and Adam West. Adam West? I mean, that's just, I find that so bizarre, of the idea of Adam West. I mean, the problem is of nowadays, we're so accustomed to him of being more comedic, but the guy, he did do some more kind of serious stuff, and he was a little bit more charming and all that, but it's hard with the modern day eyes now to picture Adam West as Bond, especially when we I mean, God, Family Guy alone is almost destroyed that kind of, trying to take Adam West so seriously, really. But it's interesting, that kind of stuff. And Burt Reynolds, he would just not work as Bond whatsoever. He's to me, loud Americans do not fit James Bond whatsoever in my eyes. Now with these two, I find very interesting. I'm going to talk about these two. It's been well known. There's been videos of these things in James Bond documentaries that have been of the screen test. And the first one I'm talking about is the father of Thanos, James Brolin himself. This I found interesting. I actually watched the screen test, and he's pretty good, to be honest. I actually think he does a damn good job. He's got a bit of a mix of George Lazenby and Timothy Dalton kind of gone together a little bit, and I think he did actually quite a good job in that screen test. I kind of liked what I was seeing from him. But overall, the reason why that never kind of came about, and apparently they were really close. Like, I was reading up, and apparently, like, James Brolin bought a house in London. He was prepared, and then suddenly Roger Moore was like, no, I think I'll come back actually for Octopussy, you know. Well, there was other reasons as well. Was the fact that because Sean Connery was doing Never Say Never Again, so it was like a competition thing. So I think there was a mix of not just Roger. I think Cubby was like, here's a wad of cash. Get back in that Pinewood studio now. So that one I've always found interesting. The next one was Sam Neill, and there's again, there has been videos of his screen tests out there. I don't know how I feel about Sam Neill as Bond. I like Sam Neill as an actor. I think he's great actually. I think he's actually very underrated as an actor, to be honest. But Bond, I just don't see it. I mean, why does he look so weird holding that gun? I don't know why. There is shots of him, and he just looks kind of. He looks a bit too. I just don't know. A bit flamboyant. I don't know where it just doesn't look like he could carry himself. Where I think James Brolin kind of could. You know, he kind of got that impression. Where Sam Neill, when I still not really seen many roles where I feel like, oh, he kind of, you know. I get, oh, that's where I can see Bond, you know, I can see kind of moments like that. But again, it was interesting just to see, but I would more on the side of James Brolin, if I'm honest, than Sam Neill for that one for me. An interesting one now going into the 90s of Paul McGann. As a Doctor Who fan, I was quite interested when I look back on the fact that apparently Paul McGann was and did audition for, say, James Bond, and apparently he was that close, and if Pierce Brosnan actually declined said role, apparently Paul McGann was second in line, and oh god, I would have bloody loved if Paul McGann actually would have been Bond. Just as playing in Doctor Who, he's so goddamn charismatic and charming, and I think he would have done a damn good job actually as Bond, and something a little bit, I don't know, a bit unique or anything like that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's only just it's bloody James Bond. It's not like the most high caliber, you know, type of acting, I guess, but it's just interesting just to see that he was in line, and that would have been crazy if he also played the Doctor and James Bond, two of the most biggest British icons. So that could have been interesting. And next one I also find very funny, actually, if anything, is the fact that Liam Neeson was very much considered as Bond, and he turned down apparently because he didn't want to do action movies, which is fine. I mean, it's not like Liam Neeson never did action movies again, you know. Because no. It never happened. It never happened again. Liam Neeson will never do another action movie again. No. No. He never wanted to do action movies. Never. But also, apparently, the rumour has it the fact that his wife said that he wouldn't marry him if he was going to be James Bond. So, obviously, he chose love, and you know what? Good on him, son. And the last one I kind of want to quickly talk about was Henry Cavill. I find him so vanilla. I just kind of like apparently that was Martin Campbell's choice. That Martin Campbell was really wanting him, and okay, but also the fact that he was far too young, and he was far too young when you look at what age. I mean, he's only just really kind of hitting the age now of what kind of Bond should be, that kind of 36, 38 kind of rough age. So I find that kind of weird, like how young that could be. But maybe that's what Martin Campbell was wanting, a really unexperienced for Casino Royale. So again, that kind of makes kind of a little bit sense. I don't want to ever see Henry, to be honest, as Bond. I'm not in that line, if I'm honest. I don't find him very charismatic, if I'm honest. That's the word to me for Bond, is that kind of... yes, that's the kind of actors I was want to talk about. There is loads of actors, to be honest. There was always rumours of Colin Firth and Hugh Grant. There was always the rumours. But I'd like to know what you guys think. Comment down below. I'd like to know... you know, was there actors that you'd like to see? Is there actors in the future you'd like to see? I'd love to know. So comment down below. Tell me what you think. More videos in the future. So until then, see you later.